Are Razordon hunting packs any good in patch 5.1? The fact CA knocked the cost down means it understands that as they currently exist, they have flaws that make them a little difficult to use. They have a very narrow niche where they excel. If the enemy does not fall into your hitting zone, your Razordons will have a hard time relative to others. On the other hand, they're one of your best sources for ranged armor piercing in the faction. Recruited for 800 gold and 200 upkeep from the tier 3 Cult of Sotek building. On Ultra, you get 32 entities with 4,160 health, like the Salamander Cousins. Armor is 90, though this unit has no missile resistance. Leadership is a mere 55, speed 70, charge speed 100. Melee attack begins at 20 with an attack interval of 4, small splash target size, so human infantry or goblin. And max targets actually damaged is limited to 2 per entity. Melee defense starts at 29, so this unit is far more defensive than the Salamanders. Weapon strength is 46, split between base 12 and 34 armor piercing. So yes, chewing on armor in a rear charge is possible, just as a last resort. Charge bonus is 20 and mass is 700. For ranged, ammunition is 18 volleys, but range is only 100, and this is a major loss compared to the Salamanders. Missile damage is officially 96, but each individual projectile only inflicts 8 base damage and 24 armor piercing. The trajectory is musket, therefore these are pretty flat shots, and here's the problem. These are not organ guns. Ordinary shields will block the shots, so you have to carefully consider the shields and facing of every opponent you fight, with that range limitation ongoing as well, and with the lack of a skirmish mode. Having said that, you get 3 projectiles per volley per Razordon. Reload time is 10, so they fire faster, and run out of ammo faster than Salamanders. Total accuracy is the base 20, as in no worse. Calibration distance is a healthy 70. Calibration area of 2.9 isn't any worse than Javelins. There is a penetration size that's small, up to 2 targets damaged past the first. Since this fires so many projectiles, I think you're more likely to get help from this effect than most units with this effect, but it's still no hawk and long rifles. Salamanders used to be more effective against massed infantry, but that's been reined in a fair bit. When we compare Razordons, we need to consider that official missile strength doesn't factor in the bonus versus large of Salamanders, since that's situational, but does factor in the explosive damage. That is to say, you hate to see your hard-earned damage vanish from shields, but the lack of explosion means that Razordons do quote-unquote more damage with their direct fire than Salamanders can do. It's just non-flaming and targeting armor specifically. So in a different way than Salamanders, the ideal use of a unit like this is bombarding larger than man-sized targets that aren't close to the ground. Thus, its power is usually wasted against cheap shielded troops. That paradox isn't going to please a lot of people, but yeah. This unit will simply annihilate the right foes. For the redline skills, it's still Skirmisher, adding plus 6 melee defense, plus 12% weapon strength, and plus 8% missile strength at 3 pips, and Spawnkin provides rank 7 Razordons with plus 5 leadership, plus 5 armor, and plus 15% missile resistance, which is good because enemies will try to focus fire this unit. In the tech tree, Tablet of the Beasts provides plus 10% speed. That's it. For now. This is a good candidate for some Lizardmen rework changes as far as that goes, but I personally think they're decent when they're not fidgeting as they change firing angles and taking a long time to start shooting. So how do you use the Razordons? Because of the lack of a skirmish mode and the lizards not turning on a dime, you want to use the pretty brisk forward movement speed to flank when that is good for you. And basically you want to use techniques more familiar to factions like Empire, using heroes to tank and create lesser friendly fire and line of sight issues, enabling you to pepper armored opposition with this specialist unit. I mean, yes, it can melee a bit, but that's a huge waste, and you want to avoid that except against the weakest foes. Since there's no sign of knockdown or slowdown from Razordons, yeah, you don't want to depend on shooting a unit up before it hits your lizards in melee, so you need screening, be it with chameleon skinks, even skink skirmishers, because poison is never bad, unless it's against red-crested skinks because they're immune. But yes, short of that, your ideal is to hit a large unshielded target. Flying targets are even better because there's even less line of sight issues. Then you just let nature take its course. You can get by with skink skirmishers against some targets. You can definitely get by with chameleon skinks. I'd strongly support using them with the Razordon packs, but, and this is important, the Razordons just melt the right opposition. They melt. They become summer ice cream spilled onto the hot concrete. For all its finicky behavior, the missiles the Razordons put out are powerhouses, and the real advantage is in using the 32 entities on units that either do not greatly outnumber them, like Kroq-Gar, or that are numerically inferior, like Stone Trolls. And for that last part, there's no rule that says you can't throw in a single Salamander Unit 2, doing less armor damage, but doing bonus damage versus large and versus fire weakness, and halting regeneration. Flesh doesn't mend when it's on fire. So I don't want to dwell on the shortcomings, though they exist. There isn't much else in the roster that's going to make dragons simply melt, that tears up rival Lizardmen dinos with impunity, and so on and so forth. Just remember, you're going to need something to slow the enemy down, so they can keep shooting. That's probably easier in real battles, rather than these demonstrations, because larger armies, you can clog up more space. Take care, and have fun shaving away the enemy's HP.